Hello and welcome to an episode of Hump of Let's Play with Hump Day Henry. So today, I have a special treat for you guys. We are going to be playing a game. Well, we're going to be playing Pac-Man. But not just any kind of Pac-Man. We're going to be playing it on a little game known as PlayStation Disc. No. Known as Namco Museum. Well, this is probably one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games I've run across. Not because of the games on it. This is actually Namco Museum Volume 1. But the games aren't that incredible, and, overall, everything is okay, but I'll show you why in a second. Let's let Namco do its stuff. Well, yeah, so that was the story of Namco Museum, Volume 1. This is playing on a PlayStation 2 specifically. It's a slim model, so before you ask. And yes, Namco Museum was a PlayStation 1 exclusive game. It was actually a really fabulous PlayStation 1 exclusive game as well. And, there we go, mono. Sorry guys, it's just the thing that I have to do. And you see, what makes this game so special is a little function, namely this. Wow, I just changed AV cables for my TV, so now I'm hooked up through a much better headphone cord. Wow, it's so much louder than the old one. So yeah, this is actually a first-person exploratory museum. It's rather neat. If I actually can't remember. Yeah, there we go. You can actually look up and stuff too. Pretty cool. Triangle button looks up. And you move around with the D-pad. This is a game that doesn't have analog stick support. But before I get you all sick, let's go over here and talk to information. You see that little Pac-Man down in the corner? When he has something to say, he gets very concerned. And then you just have to click the X button and talk to them. Welcome to the Namco Museum. There are 7 games exhibited in the museum. Register your name. Of course, I think we will register our name today. For the purposes of this, and also since, of course, I am Hump Day Henry after all. This is the weirdest thing ever. It's down to go up in the alphabet. It's weird. But, for the purposes of this, we are named Hen. I'm sad that we don't have numbers. If we did, I would show you my much more common name, but alas, without the capability of that, I guess Hen is okay. And yeah, so I'll show off sort of what it's like. So, you enter into this room, which is a giant room full of games. How you get to the games? You walk up to the door, like this. Say we want to enter Toy Pop. We walk up to the door, and you load it. And you go into its game room. And I'll show you a game room next episode, I promise, when we get into Pac-Man. But for the time being, let's just go over here to Lounge. So this is sort of like a game room, where there's our alcoholic beverages and our staff. Then sort of the history on Namco. And, you know, I'm actually not one to disappoint you guys, and at least I don't think that I am. It's also a jukebox that has the soundtrack to the entire game. You can actually hear every soundbite and music in the entire game here. But I'm pretty sure you guys know what jukebox is. So I'll leave it to your imagination. Oh yeah, and also, PlayStation 2 is just too good at loading times, I guess. If you mash buttons and that, you can make Pac-Man speed up. But now let's go over here. I'm thirsty. I want a bev. How about you guys? You want some drinks? On the house. And by that, I mean Namco is paying for them. Also, just to show off the roof of this building. I do love that ability. So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Square button is what you have to mash. This is our score tables for all of the games. There are also secret games that you can unlock. Namely, Bossican, New Rally X. Can't actually remember if those are even secret games in this one. I know for a fact that other games in the franchise do have specialized secret stages, but for the time being, I actually can't remember if this one has anything. For those who are interested, this is a PlayStation 1 exclusive that also came out on a variety of other consoles, but without this museum bit, so I always thought it was sort of a cheap versions of it. It is E-rated, though. And, came out in 1995. So yeah, this is pretty old school. And it is sort of true that a lot of these quotes on the back of the box are still accurate to this day. Bring home 7 of the greatest games in arcade history. Keep those quarters in your pants. With Namco Museum Volume 1, you can set up your own arcade classics like Pac-Man, Galaga, Pole Position, Bosconian, Rally X, New Rally X, and Toy Pop. Genuine arcade translations with genuine arcade options. It's so much fun to read the back of these boxes sometimes. It was a very good game. I suggest if you're ever in the mood for playing your old games, give it a try. It's a very fun game for what it's worth. And now we get to the staff. You all know what a credit sequence is like, right? I feel like showing it off, though. So, here's the credits. If you guys want to skip ahead, that's fine, because I'm skipping ahead, too. Actually, I'm not, I guess. I can't seem to skip it. But, these are short ones, I remember. See, there are all the special thanks already. And of course, you can never thank penguins enough. Produced by Namco. That it was. That it was. Yeah, that was back when Namco used to produce things. You know, instead of just promising us games and then never giving them to us. Yeah, those were the days. Either way, though, now let's go on to our history. The Namco official history, might I add. Once again, the loading screens, which are a bit tedious. So these are a list of every single Namco game ever. Some notable ones are, hey, Galaxian is there. We actually get we actually get Galaga on here. I have another one with the original Galaxian on it, too. I see. Oh, there's Pac-Man. There's an ever-popular game. Oh, there's some Rally X and new Rally X. Galaga. Bosconian. Ooh, pole position. Dig Dug is a super successful one. Super Pac-Man is also very successful. Pac-Land and Tower of Drago were both very important games of their day. Dig Dug 2, of course, is a popular one. Ah, there we go. Toy Pop. Yeah, this was back when they actually got around and did stuff, I know, right? Pac-Mania, Galaga 88, which was all released in 87. Splatterhouse. Nothing really important there. Galaxian 3 was released then. That's pretty cool. Oh, and speaking of the Rolling Thunder games, I have a special treat for you guys much later on. It'll be fun, guys. Don't worry about it. Oh, Driver's Eye. One of the first ever properly multiplayer arcade experiences with two machines. It was pretty cool for its day. There's Galaxian 3 again. Let's get... Oh, Ridge Racer DX. And Ridge Racer Full Scale. There's another Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer 2. Which, Ridge Racer is awesome. And there's the end of everything that they had. Namco Classics Collection Volume 1. AKA where our story of today begins. If you can't tell, Namco was pretty impressive during its day. Actually, Namco to this day is still relatively successful in terms of game creation. It does a good job at trying to release out stuff. So here's some more stuff that I just found sort of interesting. Namco Museum in G Comics. These are a feature that I wish more games would do. Here is the first ever issue of Namco Gaming. Nope, Namco Community Magazine, apparently. So you can tell it was based around Xevious this month. Pretty nice little thing, right? I'm sad I don't have a Negicon. That'd be cool. There's Mappy, which Mappy is one of those games that I never have seen actually anybody talk about, but seems to be vaguely important for Namco for some reason. I'm still very confused as to it. And I'll just zoom in on some of the more interesting bits. Here is a Namco Community Magazine that's just sort of chill. It's the number 3, and it's just sort of parodying Coca-Cola, as you can tell. But also just letting you get to know your cast. NG is a community magazine published by Namco years ago. It contained info on games as well as interviews with the insiders. It was a gaming magazine, if you can't tell. That's all that you really needed to know. But it was actually a really nice little gaming magazine, for what it's worth. Which, sadly speaking, it wasn't worth much at the time, and it's not worth that much now. You can get a lot of relatively good condition copies for cheap. Here's more NG comics. Sadly, this is the game that did the whole thing much better of showing off this kind of unique stuff. Libble Rabble. Now that's a game that you don't really hear about, because it wasn't very good. Gapless. I mean, it was a game. Can't say much else about it. Tower of Draga is really good. Hard as dicks. And also, that artwork certainly doesn't show off how evil it is. Pac-Land. Now, this is actually a game that will influence a lot of things much later on down the line. To the point where Pac-Man World games, which are incredible, by the way. I'm going to do a full playthrough of the series on here at some point, so keep your eyes out for that. NG was a monthly magazine published by Namco until 1993. And they were saying that it was published years ago in 95. If you can't tell, this is pretty silly of them, but I guess it makes sense for them. I mean, I guess jumping for this new millennium is pretty exhausting. Here's some more. NG of 1985, issues 8 to 11, it looks like. Which, pretty cool, I mean. Let's be honest. I'd much rather see something like this. Namco self-patting itself. I actually just want to show you guys this image and show you just how it's actually rather interesting to see some of these characters who you'll never hear from again, like this mysterious person. This mysterious Pac right there. Never seen or heard from again, which is pretty scary. A baseball game, which the arcades were absolutely full of. I don't think I need to say anything more. Ryoma-kun is actually a pretty interesting game. This artwork looks nothing like the actual gameplay, but yeah, I'll give it a pass. It's not the worst game, and made me smile a couple times. It contained a dice game and an encyclopedia of Namco characters, as well as other information. NG Supplement, by the way, is a... think of it as a subscription service without the subscription back in the day. It was sort of a, hey, I want to be in your fan club, basically. Of course, there was plenty of fan clubs over here in the States that failed as well. I mean, totally not in the United States. Why would I ever think that I was from there? Oh no. That was pretty terrifying, actually. I have no idea why my controller started out that way. I actually can't remember what game Pac-Man was a tiger in. Sure, it must have been crazy, though, if that's the cover art. I actually really do like some of these covers arts. Toy Pop is a very good game, but we'll have to deal with that one much later down the line. After all, Toy Pop is fun and all, but it is certainly the last, chronologically speaking, released of these games on this. Oh, it's the Return of Ishtar. I remember that game. It's a fun little arcade game if you ever find your way to a box of it. Wouldn't suggest hunting for it, though. It's not that good. After the last issue of NG, Namco published Norse, a new magazine, to which I don't actually think we'll be able to show you off a copy of Norse today. I'm sorry for those who had your hearts set on it, but it's something that I can't really show off. Unless if it's over here, which I somehow doubt. I think that says amusement machines, but I can't be positive. It's pretty hard to tell with these low-res graphics. Oh, amusement machines, yeah. So this is the catalog that Namco would release. I wish I could show you this zoom in. It's Galaga. It's actually really fascinating. But I'll show you in the other room anyway, so it doesn't matter. Birdie Putt is actually a physical game. It's not a video game. Never forget, Namco was an arcade maker. Much like many of their games aren't actually video games, especially at this point. I mean, many game series would just collapse in upon themselves. And also, by the way, never scratch off that middle bit in the P. I mean, for Pac-Man, you really don't want to be changing the letters at all. I don't want parents yelling at me for cursing on this show, but for those of you who are interested, just imagine it with an F instead of a P. Now that your terrible jokes are aside, that's actually legitimately why they changed the name Puck-Man to Pac-Man. Puck, by the way, with a very definite P at the beginning. So there's some more machines. If I could show you a zoom in, it's really cool, these. Of course, here's a bunch of gun games, which are always popular. And finally, actually, this one was actually sort of cool. It's you just sort of, with pitching, you actually physically throw a ball in there, and it's your goal to hit the guy's bat, basically. Weird training, but yeah. You want to avoid hitting him and hit his bat. It's actually a really fun little idea, but pretty hard to execute well. Oh, and there was amusement machines. Let's see what this last one is. Namco Museum. Official Papel. I have no idea what a papel is. I'm sorry. Pamphlet. I wonder why they shortened it to Pampa. That was pretty weird. Oh yeah, Namco is also working on actual robots for a while. That was weird. Here's just some weird things that they tested with. There's that Mappy again that, weirdly enough, never seems to be recorded anywhere. And before you guys send me videos, I'm not interested in seeing video of Mappy. I've seen them before, please. It's just an odd thing to see such an important thing to Namco seemingly vanish here in the west. And, with that, this opening episode is over with. Thank you all for watching. I mean, seriously, you guys are the best. Thank you, and without any further ado, goodbye. H Phantom 6, signing out.